if I had to focus two guys, one person is 부팀장님, 부팀장, 팀. I have to pronounce it right. 부팀장. If I don't pronounce it right, you cannot write. I say 부팀장님 like that. You don't know what's how do you write that? 부팀장님 like that. You have to pronounce it 부팀장, 팀장님. If you say 부팀장님, you say like that. You cannot write. So I learned that you have to learn how to pronounce the words correctly for you to write well. I think maybe that's the reason why Chinese people have good pronunciation. So maybe they're able to write Korean well and the Chinese well because they have good pronunciation. I have bad pronunciation. You could hear a little bit off. 부팀장, 부팀장. Then I could write. But if you say 부팀장님, you don't know what is that. Anyway, if I had to compare 부팀장님 and one somebody, right? I think 부팀장님 is when there's a fight, 부팀장님 he thinks what is the problem, what is the strategy, what do I need to do, what is the problem here, what is the issue. He thinks, right? He thinks. Whereas the guy who has the last name as me, he might throw a punch at you, right? So he has he has a line. If you go over this line, I might scream at you or might throw a punch at you, right? So I think that's his strategy, right? If there's a confrontation, if you go over this line, I'm gonna shout at you, I'm gonna punch you. That's his toughness. Whereas 부팀장님, if there's a fight, he thinks, what's the strategy? How do I get out of this? What's plus minus? What do I need to plan? What do I need to do? Right? So there's two different. But with the person that thinks, plans to get out of the hole, get out of the situation by thinking, he could get lost, right? He could get lost, especially with the Chinese people, because when you start thinking, you get caught in the ESP, and you think you're thinking with your mind, but you're thinking with someone else's mind. Right? Until you realize that you're thinking with your mind, you might end up someplace else. Then you realize, oh, I wasn't thinking with my mind. I'm in A zone. I should be in B zone. Whereas the guy named Juan, he's not thinking that much. If somebody goes over this much, then I'm gonna argue, fight, punch, push, maybe, right? So even it's very hard. It's very hard in China, right? Very hard. Maybe that's the reason why CFC is stuck, in their position. They're probably in like an office, like a computer room, right? And where they could think. But even there, they're gonna have ESP. I don't know, maybe they might have like a work, like this type of monitoring earpiece room. They might have a strategy room. They might have if they have separate rooms, then it might be okay. But if they start working mixture, then there's confusion. Am I myself? Who am I? Whose ESP am I on? I guess with a smaller group you could do it, but as the group gets larger and larger and larger, you don't know who's who, what's what. The other people, there's there's another guy. He's 팀장님. 이주희 팀장님. I don't pick up that much stuff from him. I don't know why. I don't know why to pick up that much stuff from him. I think out of I think out of all these people, he might be the toughest. But based upon the look, he's like this, right? He's like this, big. He's um he's built like this, right? So I think he might be the toughest. Mm, out of all three, I think he might be the strongest, and he's also smart. So I think maybe that's the reason why he's 팀장님, right? There's a team leader and a vice second team leader, and there's a guy named with my name Juan. But he doesn't give ESP that much, right? He's usually just happy. He jokes around, but I cannot pick up his ESP. Just good vibes, but not really anything. So that's the main three people I'm working with, and out of those three people, I have that, right, and other people are around 40 years old. They have this. They get kind of excited. When they get excited, they focus more on the earpiece. There's the older people around 65. Uh, I think I think they might. I think they might blanked out. There's three people, right? I didn't pick up anything from them. I didn't spend much time communicating with them. Uh, but I think you could tell by the I don't know. You can't really pick up.